I like that.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. I'm happy to have you here today.
I'm also
I
happy
don't
to
even
be
know you
here.
will make it, but I'm glad you are here.
That is it.
With your title, still you made it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
All right. So this is Mr. Richard Gyimah, an old-time friend, CEO of Blue Apple Innovations Africa. I think he has a whole lot of things to tell us today, but then let's just glue on our sheet as we listen to this wonderful interactive session with him. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Richard.
Yes.
Who is Richard? We want to know who is Richard.
Okay, I'm Richard Gyimah, as you said already. Officially, I'm the Municipal Coordinator for Vocational and Technical Skills Education, Ghana Education Service, LECMA, and also the consultant for Blue Apple Innovations Africa. I do other personal teachings and stuff, but basically I'm also a creative director. Yes.
Okay. I think that creative aspect of you is what brought us together.
Do you remember?
Yes,
that was
I
like
do.
5 years ago.
5 years, yeah, a long time.
Excellent.
Yeah. Why you have to be one of our judges. And it was so amazing that I know we are going to pull your clip for people to see.
See your halo, halo, see your halo, halo.
Sarah, it's boring listening to you. Singing your talent.
Yes, please.
To me, looking at your legs, you're a good footballer. Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it Black Queens?
And I realized that most of the girls hated me because of that.
Yeah, but
I was too
anyway,
hard
they
on
were not understanding where you are coming from, being a creative person that you are, both by profession and by your person. They were not understanding. And we knew actually, coming from your interactions with them, that it's going to be tough for them to deal with you because you can't take a no for them.
Not at
You
all.
wanted
Not at
everything
all.
perfect, even though you know nobody is perfect. Why is that part of you? Why?
I believe in unearthing talents from individuals, but I should start from somewhere.
Okay.
One thing about life is that there's something called creative thinking or critical thinking. The person at that point must think critically. And how do you think critically? You need to know how to identify issues or challenges altogether. Education of challenges altogether makes one creative. So if you're not allowed to brainstorm, if you're not pushed to the world to think critically, I don't know, you can't be a problem solver.
But seriously, was it why you were turning most of my girls down there?
I wasn't doing that. I was making sure that they understood the word creative sense.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you were right, because at one point you made one statement where you were asking one of my girls, "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be a footballer." And I'm like, "What?" But she went through the audition. She was picked, and in fact, I wasn't expecting that from you. But then, looking at the reason why you said it, it was justifiable.
And I feel so happy seeing her today because she's doing so well.
Yes,
Yeah, if I had not pushed her to the wall, making her understand that in life you have to work hard. And working hard doesn't mean that using your strengths, but using your brains and think creatively. That makes you working hard. And I think today she's doing so well. I'm happy to see her.
Enjoying the benefit of your creativity that you impacted on them.
And one thing is that this is a learning environment. We're all learning. Okay, the fact that I push them to the wall doesn't mean that I also do not learn. I do learn.
You learn at the process.
Good to the process, and I learn from them too. So we learn together. I told the other time that in life, the era of competition is over. We're in the era of completion.
Yeah.
We need to complete our agenda. We don't have to compete.
Compete with people.
That is it.
I'm going to come back to that, completion and competition.
Oh, God.
Because these are two words people have been misunderstanding.
Excellent.
From the inception.
Excellent.
So I think today maybe we're going to shed more light into
Okay.
it. Richard, looking at creative and management consultants, how will you explain that to the public? Like, how do you differentiate creativity? How do you differentiate the management? And how do you differentiate the consulting aspect of it? Or how do we even put the three words together?
Basically, all these work together.
Alright.
For one to manage well, that person must be creative.
Okay.
We all say the baseline for management is creativity and common sense.
Okay.
So you can't be called a good manager if you're not creative. That is one thing. And for you to consult creatively, you need to be a good manager. But one thing, sometimes we confuse these words, directing and controlling. You can only control your workers if you're able to direct them well. Directing is not control. Directing is motivating, making sure that they work well. And if I'm motivated, then I can be controlled.
Okay.
And that's where we come in. We make you as a manager think creatively, direct your employees, then making sure that they work and you're able to control them.
Can I ask you a question? Do you need to go to any specific school to acquire this knowledge of being creative or being a manager or as well being a consultant? Or it's something you just have to figure that out yourself, or is inborn or something?
Yeah, and no matter what you have as an individual, you need to upgrade it. You need to learn. At a point, I always say that the learning environment is open. You can say that I'm a good manager if you not had any aspect of learning, or somebody must take you through a process. You might have the inbuilt ability, but you need to nurture yourself to a certain level, making sure that we are getting everything right. Don't forget, we live in a digital age, so we need to have these things done the right way. Yes.
You talked about living in digital age, so let's come to that.
Okay.
How do we compare our technology to our creativity right now? How do we compare the two? Are they matched perfect, or is there something missing in one, or one is incomplete without one?
One thing is you can't say that you're a creative if you're not digitally literate.
Okay.
At a point, you need to add up your creativity to technology. Gone are days whereby you'll see people holding pen and brush painting all together.
Okay.
I can sit behind my piece or even use my phone to do a painting on my phone, and that is faster, that will so better. Now, we talk about handicraft, so meaning that if I use my hand to do something, that should be expensive, and that is creativity. But that's not altogether. If I invite technology in my works of art, that is also creative.
Richard, sorry, can you in more detail tell us what we could say is creative? Is our life a creative act? Is our breathing a creative act? Is this I don't know. How can we describe creativity or being in the creative field?
Creativity is not the use of the pen and brush. It involves a long way of stuff. I keep telling people that, remember when we're young, we asked the question, what would you become when you grow up?
Okay.
You remember that question?
Yeah.
What did he say?
I can't remember. It's a long time. And
I'm sure you wanted to be a medical doctor, right?
I doubt it. I would have been my grandmother's pet.
Oh,
Seriously,
goodness. And those questions were the wrong questions altogether. At a point, we should now be asking our children, what would you like to solve when you grow up?
Okay.
With that, the child today will start identifying the challenges of today, and finding solution to those challenges will make the child creative. And that's
Okay.
the baseline of creativity.
Okay.
Identification of problems and finding solution to them will make one creative. That
So
is all.
prior to what you just said, creativity is just everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's in everything.
The ability to identify challenges
is the
and
most
finding solution to those challenges will make one creative. It's
Creative,
not the ability of
okay.
taking pen and brush to draw or having cartooning or something. But you're able to identify something. This is a problem. Let me find solution to it. Finding solution will make you creative. And being creative will bring the income.
Which I know if I'm going to drag you over and over, you will say a whole lot of things. But then I have something I said today we'll talk about.
Oh, goodness. Let's talk about
We're
it.
talking about the books you've written.
Okay.
And I'm going to be specific in one, and you know.
Which one is that? Let me know.
My Wife's Diary.
I chanced on my wife's diary, and the things I saw in there, goodness, were so sweet and disturbing.
Rich. My Wife's Diary.
Okay.
Is it a true life story? or you are just being creative? I want to know how it really happened. How did you take it?
Okay. One thing I like to link it to the Adam's book. I married her past. She married my future. It has a link to my wife's diary. Should I talk about it now?
You can. It could be just a summary or something.
Okay, it's basically about this young man who wanted to explore life. He believed in love, and he believed in what we call CUT, care, understanding, and trust. So finding a wife wasn't difficult for him at all, but he realized that the wife he found was the wrong person. Doesn't mean that we have wrong people around, depending on the angle and your understanding of what you want. So he married the wrong wife, and he had to pay dearly for that. That is it. The sequence and the scope, we'll get into that later.
You see, I'm looking at you. So I'm trying to kind of connect the whole story.
Okay.
But then let's go for a quick commercial break. When we
Right.
come back, this story will have to continue.
Thank you.
You married her past.
Yes, and she married my future.
And she married your future. Please,
Yes.
can you explain the scenario?
Basically, I saw something in her that actually enabled me, that actually positively incited me to marry her.
And that was the past.
That was the past.
Okay.
I normally she also looked at my future, getting to understand the benefits of like friends with benefits, get to understand the benefits she'll be getting after marrying me. I was looking at, okay, she's a good person altogether. But unknowingly, she was just acting at a point. So we got married and everything was terrible. And at a point you realize that you were marrying somebody who wasn't, in the society we live in religion, she wasn't within your religious domain, okay?
Or religious belief or kind of, or
Yes, kind of
standard.
something or inclination or something.
Yeah. I think we should use the word standard. She's not within the same religious standard.
Okay, if standard is to something, meaning that might be up high or she might be low, but the domains.
Okay, you're not within the territory.
The territory. Okay. She was a different religious person altogether.
Yeah. Okay.
And because of love, I had to join her to marry her. And it was an agreement altogether. Okay, she understood. So I had to join her religious domain to marry her.
Just to make her feel comfortable.
Good.
Is it just being in love, or you are just doing this to make this whole thing work?
No, I felt it was love. So I had to leave mine to join hers, to marry her all together. And we got married and everything went wayward. Because I realized that, okay, now for me to become a good wife, you have to stay in my religion. And that wasn't the deal altogether. So everything changed. And
it was more like a condition base. Kind of.
Good, because
but you have to compromise.
Because don't forget that at that domain, I don't want to mention that you need to be one before you can marry somebody from that side, okay? And I had to change mine to hers just for me to marry her. And everything changed. That was the beginning of the end.
Rich, I'm sorry to say this, but then this is very deep. Deep than we are even talking about it, but it's deeper than what we are saying.
Yes, I getting deeper.
Because when we are looking at compromising in relationships, it can be very, very, very misunderstood.
Of course. Yes. And one thing, you shouldn't marry somebody thinking that I married this person will change.
Good.
That is a deceptive comment
Yeah.
altogether.
You don't marry people.
someone to change. We are not saying that you should marry somebody who is 100%. You wouldn't get 100% kind of personality. You would get somebody, okay, at least let's have a bigger percentage. So at the end of the day, we will share ideas together. I don't have to be like you. You don't have to be like me.
Yeah.
Let's meet at a point whereby you learn from me, I learn from you. Then we all move on.
Okay, but then coming back to the past and the future, what exactly do you think that she came in for in the marriage?
Probably she saw the persona, that is me. Probably she realized that, okay, this guy has a future, he has a future plans, he was known everywhere, he's hardworking, he's all that, he's the kind of person I want to be. So at the end of the day, she married based on what she want to get. Okay? Yes.
You think she thinking that way was wrong?
No,
wasn't.
It wasn't at all.
Wasn't, yeah.
But there was something that should have
because
been
you cannot go into a marriage without knowing if your partner has a future.
But we should believe that there should be something called continuity.
Yeah.
I married it based on these things I want to see. So no matter what, I have to be in it. I have to conform.
Yeah.
If my gentleman or my guy changed from the principles, you don't have to give up. This is marriage. You have to be in it. You make sure that everything works all together. You don't compare. You don't do any other thing, but making sure that you all live to the standards. You're not married to an angel. You're not married to. You're married to human.
You are not married to Jesus. That we've not even seen. We've seen the pictures.
I don't want to get that.
No. Have you seen Jesus before? We've seen pictures, but we've not seen him. We've not.
You've seen Jesus' picture before?
Yeah, it's only by
From
his
where?
pictures. His picture, Jesus' pictures.
Jesus' pictures?
The person they say is Jesus.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
that person.
Do you not understand? So use the word
That was a
Jesus'
painting
pictures. Yeah.
of Michelangelo, something.
Or whatever they call it, whatever it is, that was the representative of Jesus Christ.
That's
that we
Jesus.
went through.
That's
Yeah,
Jesus. Okay.
That is Jesus. You don't know it's Jesus?
Okay, let's go. I don't get there at all.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so basically it's just like that. In marriage, you have to be together.
All right.
No matter what, there's always something called sacrifice. Okay, and make sure the most important thing, the marriage must work. You're not married to an angel. You're not married to a genie or somebody. You're married to a human being
who can be faulted at times.
Excellent. And there's something called forgiveness. No matter what I do to you, you need to have an open heart to forgive me. That's the most important thing. Don't think that, Gyimah, you have faulted severally, so I can't forgive you. Leader, you have faulted several, so I can't forgive you. So at what point will you forgive me? And if the least thing that happens in the marriage, I want to divorce you. I want to leave you. So that was the stage I got to in my story, whereby I live with fear. Because no matter anything that happens, we quite a little, I want to go to my family. I want to leave her together. Eventually, she left.
Yeah.
And being the person in the story, I had to struggle to make sure that life gets better for me. And it wasn't easy at all.
Why?
There are times that you find people ask you, okay, Richard, I'm the better person, I'm better than your wife, but when you get closer to realize that, goodness,
No,
they're not. You're not. When you're not closer to them, they tell you beautiful stories altogether.
You are seeing them at a distance.
Of course, but when you get into the realize that, gee, they're worse than your wife.
Yeah, you're right. But then let me even say something to you. Because I believe that when you do the right thing, do you understand? When the starting point of every relationship starts with a good foundation, it works more better.
I believe that I always tell people that, listen, when you want to marry somebody, make sure you marry a friend. If I say doesn't mean that you have to go out looking for friends to marry, not at all. But somebody you can play with. Somebody you can insult, the person will go angry. So you can just slap and say, oh goodness, I enjoy your slapping and all that. I could not somebody you want to build that official love with. Okay, somebody can do whatever in public. People say, oh, these guys are friends. So you should marry a friend in the marriage.
But I want to also ask you, don't you think that because you made the wrong decision of going into her church could also be the genesis of this whole
Not say
misunderstanding?
could also that I believe was the genesis of
the problem.
Of the problem.
Meaning that there
altogether.
was a fault.
There
The
was a fault.
foundation has a
I
fault.
felt that probably
Because
I
a
could change
woman was
her.
supposed
I
to
could
have
change
been
her.
the
I
one-
could change her at a point. So
yeah.
let us just be in it and take her back and just change her. And that was the worst decision as a person in the story I made.
Because you can't change people unless they decide to make the changes themselves.
Excellent.
And you cannot.
It's a point of decision. Let's
Yeah.
get to the stage that I want to change. And that is it.
You don't change people.
You don't change people.
You don't change people.
But I can change you.
You don't marry people to say that I will change them.
No, don't at all. Don't make that mistake ever in life.
Yeah.
So when I see the young people coming up saying that, oh, I love this guy, but he's this and that, but I will change you when I marry him. Goodness, we don't hear that again. Make sure that you're marrying the right person.
You have to change for the person. You don't.
Yes.
The person don't.
And
make
one
you
thing to
change.
understand, marriage is not about marrying the right person. You have to be the right person. That's a key point. You don't have to
be
marry the right person, but be the right person. Let me be the reflection of you.
But then it shouldn't be about one person. This decision should be from
Marriage is
the two
allowing
people.
the sun to shine at both ends. Not only the sun shine at one end altogether. We
So-
all have to move to the same direction. That doesn't mean that the same direction with the same view, with different views altogether.
So I think from this your story, married her past and she married my future, it's obvious that foundation was wrong.
The foundation was
So in every
wrong.
relationship you are going into, make sure you
The
get your
foundation
foundation
is a
right.
key.
Okay, so let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue. We're back from this commercial break, and as Richard was talking, the foundation was definitely be set right before you go into any relationship. If not, you're going to have a lot of issues. But back to him. Richard,
Okay.
I'm not going to say you should continue from this I married her past.
I wouldn't have to
because
continue.
already it's breaking me down. Let's talk about
ΑΔΟΠΕA.
Was that one to another true life story?
Yes, ΑΔΟΠΕA is my latest trending story.
Okay.
It is on social media. I have a reading population of 1,000.
Wow.
Yes, and ΑΔΟΠΕA is a true life story about this young girl who, a week of she was born, and the day she was to be christened, the parents died in a motor accident right in front of the church.
Wow.
Yes, and that began her story. It's a true life story. Yes, that began her story. ΑΔΟΠΕA currently is a house help with one politician at Santa Maria.
I see.
Yes.
She must be going through a lot.
Of course. She went through surgery
And that is the story?
3 months ago. Yes.
Wow. That's a story I think people should go looking for.
Of course, it's a sad story.
Where can we get all this your books?
Currently, it's trending as online reading. We are working on the book later to come out as a telenovela too. So we are still working on that.
We keep pushing.
And I was telling earlier on, the hard work is not the use of the strength, it's the use of the brain.
Yeah.
And be creative. Because if the use of the strength, realize that most of these people around carrying things all over, they are still struggling to make it. But somebody who is in the brain to work is making more money.
Yeah, of
So
course.
some will say that success is not hard work, success is smart.
Smart. Yeah, you're right.
You have to smart
You have to be smart.
to make it. And
It's-
don't forget that no matter what
even
you
with
do,
your certificate and everything, if you're not smart, you just zero.
that is it.
it
And
doesn't-
no matter what you do, you have to put God first.
Of
No
course.
matter what you do,
God first.
God first.
God first. But then let me tell you, Africa, what you are just saying now is just a typical African behavior.
Yes.
It's everywhere. I've been seeing a whole lot of things on social media.
Yes.
Some of them have cultivated the habit that when you're a bad leader, during your day of send-off or when you are retiring, they will do a very big poster. Thank God the winch is going.
There's something you need to understand that we all rise by lifting others.
Yeah.
That is one thing you need to understand. We all rise by lifting others.
I borrowed the word from Helen, be kind to one another.
Be kind to one another. You wouldn't know my tomorrow.
You don't know tomorrow.
Good. That is it. I always say that it's important to understand that the future is the present of today.
Of course. You're right. Okay, Rich. So back to this whole thing. Can you tell our audience where they can get your books? Because they are very interesting. They are something. In fact, the fact that you are saying it, I'm worried. I got breakdown, kind of. Because where can people get this book to read so that they will learn? Because everything about marriage must start from a good foundation. If the foundation is a bit shaky, everything goes bad. So if there's a place you know they can get the book, can you let them know?
Yeah, first of all, they can get to blueapple.org. And you can also get on Facebook. Just enter I Married Her Past, She Married My Future. You also enter ΑΔΟΠΕA. You find all the books there. We have it online reading now.
Okay.
Later, we'll have the publishing. We're also going to have a telenovela, as I discussed earlier on.
Okay.
Yes, so these are the avenues you can get the books all together.
All right, Rich, we should be coming to the end of this story because we still have more time. We'll still invite you some other time to come and throw more lights on education because that's one part we didn't touch that much. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you too, Lillian. I have enjoyed myself being
But then there's this tradition that we cannot live without.
What is that?
Our card sorting.
Okay.
Sort our cards.
Can I sort it out
So
like
you
this?
No. You don't read and sort. You sort it facing downwards and pick
Okay, so
one.
I do it like this.
Read it out.
Like this and
No,
I
no. You're just reading the. Why? Why are you doing that?
So I do this and
No,
sort.
no. You don't. You do like this. Let me show you. Give me. You. I know you. You do like this.
Okay.
After you're done, then you pick one.
Okay. Okay, this.
Okay. So what was that? You have to read it out.
Describe yourself in 3 or 4 words.
Are you kidding me? Everybody's just choosing that. Okay.
Richard is sociable, lovable, hardworking fellow.
Oh, lovable,
sociable,
hardworking fellow. Okay, the fellow make it 4.
Yes, you said 4 words, so.
Okay, well, thank you, it's right. Cool.
3 or 4, so I
Thank you for coming on the show today. And before you leave, we have something special for you.
Okay.
From Lily's show.
Okay.
And that
thank you so much.
Abro Air Freshener from Costa Rica Ghana Limited.
Okay.
Abro Super Blast Insecticide from Abro.
Okay.
And from Costa Rica Ghana Limited. They are the distributorship for this. And we have this special cup.
I like it. I like it. Wow.
Rich, I know you like coffee. Because if you don't like coffee,
Did
you can't be writing.
That 5 years ago?
All this story you have been writing, this is what you do. You must drink the coffee to stay awake. So this cup will help you.
Really, you're exposing me.
Rich, because we have to.
Okay.
If I don't do that, everybody would think that it's not normal to take coffee. You can take coffee, but be careful. Make sure that you take it.
I will be careful.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for
Thank you so
coming.
much, Lillian, and thank you so much, Lily's show. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
To me, it's a privilege to be here, and I believe that in due time, I'll be coming again.
Of course you will. In due time, very surely, because we are here to go into more details on this whole story.
Thank you.